Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we're going to be recreating the look that I was wearing on my last video, where I feature all the PIXI palettes. We're going to be using obviously those products to achieve this look. I wanted to do a separate video just because I think this look is very wearable and I think you guys will really like it. So let's just get started. Using that fluffy brush that I received, I'm just going to grab one of the browns that was in the warmer palette. I think it's called the Reflex Light palette. And we're just going to put that all over the crease, just like a flush of color or as an initial transition color. Now grabbing a warmer brown, because you guys know I love to have my crease super warm. I'm just going to lay the color right on top of where we apply that first color and wing it out a little bit because I do like my eyes to look a little bit more almondy. Now grabbing this orange color again from the Reflex Light palette, we're going to pack that on with that little brush that I received from them. I believe this one's E1. We're just going to pack it on the moving lid, not taking it too up, just up to the crease. And we're just going to keep packing until we achieve the color that we want. Now grabbing this dark brown and the detailed, more dense brush, we're going to start packing that color in the crease, not putting it too high up, just a little bit. And on the outer corner, just to give more definition to the eye and a little bit more drama. I usually do this before I apply the lid color, but I don't know, today I did it backwards. Now grabbing this light color, we're just going to place it in the center to bring more light and depth to the eye. And moving on to eyeliner, I'm using the new, I believe it's called Ink Liner, Epic Ink Liner by NYX. Love this liner. You guys know that I'm a true fan of the KAJA BEAUTY one. I think this one's very similar. And we're just gonna place a cat eye. My cat eye came out a little bit weird, but it's okay. Now for the skin, we're using the new Poreblum primer. I received this on my BoxyCharm for February, and I'm loving it so far. And I'm also going to be using for foundation a Milk foundation that I just purchased. I'm loving this foundation so much so far too. I have to play a little bit more with it and give you guys my final, view of it. But for the most part, I'm loving it so far. I kind of wish I got a color that was a little bit darker because I do think it's a little bit light for my skin. But we can just balance it out later with bronzer. For concealer, I'm using the KAJA concealers. You guys know this is my favorite at the moment. I'm using Fortune Cookie for highlight and Sweet Toast for conceal. You guys know I like to mix the two just because I do want lighter for brightening and then the Sweet Toast, which is more the color of my skin tone, to conceal. Moving on to blush, I'm also using a Milk blush. This is a cream blush that I love. I'll try to put all the products down below just so you guys can see which ones I'm using. I believe this one's called Rally. And I'm just going to place that on my cheeks and blend it out with the same beauty blender or the sponge that I did for my foundation. I'm also going to bake a little bit. I believe I'm using a Revlon loose powder here. I'm just going to bake to give a little bit more definition to the face. And for bronzer, I'm using the Pretty VULGAR bronzer and Mannikin. And we're going to use this as a contour shade and as bronzer as well, to just warm up the skin and just make everything kind of come together. I'm also going to go ahead and remove the other powder, the baking powder. I don't like to leave it on too long because it does tend to dry out my skin a little bit. Especially if you have dry skin, I don't recommend it to leave it too long. And then going back to the palette, this one's called Natural Beauty. We're going to use those cool tone browns to give definition to the lower lash line. I love to balance this out when I have, a heavy upper lid. For highlighter, I'm using this one. This one's called Lit. It's by Milk Makeup as well. I shouldn't have put it on top of powder, but it still worked out fine. It looks pretty. Now moving on to lips, I'm using Mija by ColourPop, and this is a collaboration that they did with Becky G. This is probably my favorite nude at the moment. I think it really complements a lot of my looks, and it just looks really nice on my skin tone. This is the final look, guys. Let me know what you think. Very wearable. You can pretty much use this look to anything, even during the day if you wanted to look a little bit more fancy or a little bit more dulled up. I hope you guys like it. As usual, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.